Okay, so we are starting our recording for we're doing two calls in one for our Director Bound program. Ignore any background noise on my end. I'm trying to convince my children to go to bed, so fingers crossed. Okay, so today we're going to be going over how to inform, the difference between informing and inviting people to join Pampered Chef, and also at the tail end we're going to talk about how to do that opportunity chat. So let me make sure I can get this thing to go on. Okay, so this is our follow-up homework from last time. So from the last call, which was 2 weeks ago, we asked at every call that you fill out your 90-day tracker after every party and call your director for a show and tell. It's where you have a show and you tell us about it. To print out and use the host coaching checklist for every host, just to kind of get into that habit of knowing what to teach your, what to talk to your host about. To make 15 contacts a week outside of the party, and if you can't do it as 3 contacts a day for 5 days, spend a 1-hour power hour. 10 of those contacts should be old contacts, meaning people that you still need to follow up with, and 5 should be brand new. And then also we ask that you guys listen to the audio, Make It Impactful, that is on Consultants Corner under the Director Bound resources. And if you need to know how to get to that, I can post it so you guys will have access to it. But that was the homework from last time. So this time we're going to be talking about the difference between informing and inviting. So when you're informing someone, you're actually, that's the part where you're creating interest and you're telling them a little bit about Pampered Chef. If you're not doing this during your shows, it's going to make that checkout chat very hard because you haven't done your job to tell them what Pampered Chef can do for them. And of course, inviting is inviting them to learn more, asking them to learn more. It's not inviting them to sell, it's asking them to learn more about the business opportunity and inviting them to do so. It would be like, hey, Pampered Chef is great because of this, that's informing. And then, have you ever thought about learning more about Pampered Chef? That's inviting. So you want to, yes, Pampered Chef is great, here's why. That's you're giving them information about Pampered Chef. Inviting them is saying, have you ever thought about doing something like this? I'd like to give you more information. I'd like to invite you to learn more. Okay, so there are 3 places that you can inform throughout your party. One is during the welcome for your strong opening or your group hello. The second place, of course, is during the recipe prep or your guest interaction. And the third place is at the end of the party during your wrap up or your shop and share or your strong closing. And those are different places of your show that you can start doing that. And you want to kind of work this in, and I'll be going through some word choices that you can use throughout this call for being able to inform and invite and plant those little seeds, those little recruiting seeds that we talk about a lot. So if you have not already done this, and I know that my consultants watching this, we do this on our new consultant calls, so this should be review. Creating your story. Why did you get started with the Pampered Chef? What were you nervous about? How did you overcome that fear? Or if you had more than one fear, how did you overcome those? What do you love about your business? Why have you stayed with Pampered Chef? Or if you haven't been with Pampered Chef for very long, what are you looking forward to, or what are you excited about? That's going to be how you can start to say your story, and it's your short story in those first 1 to 3 minutes of your show. So for me, my story might look something like this at my strong opening. Hi, my name is Christina, and I'll be your Pampered Chef consultant tonight. My primary goal is to make sure that we all have a great time. I'm not sure what your day was like, but I am so glad that you decided to join us tonight, and I know you won't regret it. We're going to help you put some fun back into your, sorry, I can't read my own writing. Put some fun back into your cooking and teach you some quick tips and tricks to get dinner on the table in a snap. How does that sound? One last thing before we get started. I know you didn't come here tonight looking for a job, but I never know what your situation is. So I'd like to invite you to watch what I do and see how much fun I'm having and picture yourself doing what I do. I certainly wasn't looking when I found Pampered Chef, so let's get this party started. Super simple, just a quick plant seed. Hey, watch what I'm doing. You could totally do this. I usually will say, so if you watch what I do tonight and you think I can totally do this better than Christina, come on, we've got you covered. I can help you get there. So some recruiting seeds that you might plant throughout your show is, who else has this much fun when they go to work? Can you believe I get paid to do this? Sometimes, I always go to these parties where my host is serving wine, and she'll always say, oh, are you allowed to have a glass of wine when you're working? I'm like, yeah, no one's going to fire me. I could drink a glass of wine if I want to, or two. Shh, don't tell. Mary, you're such a natural with that spiralizer. You'd make a great consultant. Don't you just love that manual food processor? I got mine in my new consultant kit. Thank you for volunteering to be our recipe reader tonight. You did such a great job keeping your station on task. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Just simple little things as you're talking, and without your show, these I would use during my recipe prep when they're doing all the work and I'm just kind of hanging out talking to people from station to station. So the best product that we have is our new consultant kit. So I always encourage everyone to look inside the last page of the catalog. You know, people start this business for a lot of different reasons. Some need to pay off debt. Others just want some fun money. Some do it to stay home with their kids. Others do it to get away from their kids for a few hours. Some need money right now. And at Pampered Chef, we make it easy to get started and to start earning money right away. Who would like to help me share a few real life scenarios with examples of how much you can earn with Pampered Chef? So this is something you can use towards the end of your show. Like this is at your wrap up. And then Heather, did Bobby show you guys the envelope game at a training before?
I know I saw it with my other team. I don't think I've seen it with you guys.
Okay, so my envelopes are in the car because we just came back from Beansville and I did not unload it. But in my envelope, I have these hot pink envelopes. I have these hot pink letter, and if you look up, hold on, let me see, up here, you see those pink? Those are my envelopes. All the way up there. So I have them labeled envelope 1, 2, and 3. Now I do mine a little bit differently than this, but I saw this example and I was like, this is something that is concrete. People can see, so I'm going to ask the consultant who shared these examples for copies of those paychecks because I think it's very, very vital to have the information to go with it. So if you're doing an envelope game, you can have envelopes labeled 1 through 3 or add a 4th envelope in there, which I'll go through. So I'll say, okay, so we're going to do this little envelope game, and I'll pass them out. Who has envelope number 1? Okay, so envelope number 1. First, let's meet Laura. Laura works full-time as a teacher and is a single mom of a 2-year-old. Her Pampered Chef business pays for her daughter's daycare. She did 3 cooking shows, 1 catalog party, and got 2 online orders. So she left her house 3 times, and she made, who wants to look inside and tell us what she made? And then they'll open it up. Okay, so she made $650. What would you do with an extra $650 every month just for leaving your house 3 times? And that should have been a question mark after that and not like a side thing. So ignore my punctuation. All right, who has envelope number 2? All right, so open that up or just hold on to it for a minute. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about Sharon. Sharon became a consultant in August of 2015. She has 4 grown kids, 1 grandson that she loves spending time with, and she was working part-time as a patient tech at a hospital and also has a small baking business out of her home. She left her house 7 times in October and made, drum roll, open that up. Can you imagine leaving your house just 7 times and making just shy of $1,300? She gave her notice at her job in April, just 7 months into her business, and she is so excited for more time with her growing family. So you're letting them see copies of those paychecks. Or if you want, you can have Monopoly hundreds in there or fake money, something, whatever's a good visual. So for mine right now, I haven't been using Laura and Sharon. I have envelope number 1 that has $400 in it, and it doesn't have real money. I printed them off of the internet, and I say that this is on average what a consultant who does 1 party a week makes, you know, between $400 and $600. And envelope number 2 has $1,000 in it. This is what on average a person who leaves their house 2 times a week makes. So I'll do that, and I usually have them look at it, and I don't go into stories. But I like the stories because it kind of makes it a bit more personal that this is what someone actually did. All right, so envelope number 3, let me introduce you to Claudia. Claudia is a mother of 2 young children, and her husband is in the military. She moved back to the U.S. from Korea in January 2015, and her first commission check of 2015 was $600. Less than 1 year after she relocated, she built her business back up to 15 parties, 11 cooking parties, and 3 freeze and meal workshops. And in October 2015, Claudia earned $4,651. Can you imagine giving yourself a 700% pay raise in less than a year? What would that kind of paycheck mean for you and your family? This is a bonus envelope. Let's meet one last consultant. This gal started her business simply for the startup kit. 4 parties, and she was going to take the products and run. Because how many of us have met someone who's wanted just the kit and stayed? You know, that's Nancy Jo Ryan. That's several of them. She was a director at a credit card company. the mom of 3 grown children and was about to become an empty nester. She was able to quit that job over 5 years ago and is now, I should change that, and is now a full-time director and trainer with the Pampered Chef. Her best paycheck so far was in October 2015 when she earned $8,010. I'm so glad I said yes and didn't overthink this like I do most things in life. There really is no risk in giving this business a try. Instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I fly? So that's something. I do the envelope game, and of course you can do it however you want. There's a ton of different ways. If you're just doing the money to let them see 400, 1,000, and then a copy. If you don't have, that's my little bath cover as he walks naked. So if you don't have a big paycheck yet, ask your director for a copy of hers. Ask Bobby Lynn for a copy of her paycheck or one of the directors on her team, so that way you can see and show that, because you can say, you know what, I'm not here yet, but this is what I'm working on. So this is something else that you can say. You'll never know what this business could do for you and your family unless you give it a try. And to get started, it's just 2 simple steps. The first step is to schedule an intro or a kickoff party. This is your opportunity to learn the business with hands-on training, and you just invite all your friends over like you would for a regular party. But I'm going to come over and do all the work. And here's the best part. Instead of just getting the host benefits, you're also going to earn the commission, and I'm going to help you line up bookings on your schedule to get your business off to a great start. The second step is to order one of our starter kits. These kits include products that are most likely already on your wish list and at a fraction of the cost. So if you're ready to start earning extra income for your family, just write starter kit on your order form and we'll set a date for your kickoff party tonight. Remember, this is not like deciding to get married. You're just going on a few dates with Pampered Chef to see if you like it. So this is something that you can use at your shows. And the more that you say it and the more that you put that into practice, the easier it gets. So I have been using something that Sharon Zellin said, and I gotta find I can do it off the cuff because I've been doing it at a lot of my shows, but at the very beginning, I have it written on index cards because I want to remember. So it says, if your children came to you and said, Mom, I want to try soccer or dance or baseball, would you ever tell them not to bother because they'd be horrible at it? I don't think so. I think you would encourage them to try it, and if they didn't like it, they would never have to do it again. I'm not sure why you wouldn't give yourself the same advice you would give your kids. People say to me all the time, I can't do what you do. Here's the thing. I never thought I could do what I do. I want you to give yourself the same advice you would give your kids. Try this business for 30 days. If at the end of 30 days you decide you don't like it, you can walk away and keep everything. The Pampered Chef police don't come and take anything back. The reality is, at the end of 30 days, the worst thing that will happen is that you'll have a pocket full of money from the shows you did and more products than you can ever imagine. That's the worst thing. The best thing is you could find out that this is the greatest job in the world. So I would take these note cards with me to my shows until it became second nature for me to say it without having to read it. So I don't usually say it like verbatim, but I get the general picture across. And that's the same thing with this. If you take this and you say it's super easy and you make this script your words, it's going to help you to be able to make it. It's going to be more natural the more you use it and the more you say it and the more you practice it. Okay, so there's other recruiting activities. The Y bag. Have you ever heard of that one, Heather?
No.
Okay, so a Y bag is basically a bag. Hold on, I'm gonna slide over here. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but basically what you would have in here is things that are specific. Mine's empty right now because clearly I don't use this one anymore, but it would be things that are that why you do your business. So some examples could be like, if you could just do it in a brown paper bag. And some people will pass the bag around, let each person pull something out of it and kind of guess why that's part of their business. So sometimes they'll put like a little Matchbox car in there and say that they use their commission to pay for their car payment, or they'll put a little Monopoly house, that it pays their mortgage. Sometimes I've seen where they'll put a rubber band in there. That's to show that the business is flexible. One girl I know would put a pair of pantyhose in there, like the support pantyhose, and say that it was for support, or a bra for the same reason. It's a support system that we have, but just to put little things in there for why you're doing the business. And that's a fun little way to get other people pulling stuff out of a bag to figure out why you're doing this. The stealing card scheme, that one's been around for a while. Have you seen that one?
Nope.
Okay, Stealing Hearts, there is a YouTube video. It's basically where they're asking questions, but you only have like two. You have like all of the hearts cards from a deck of cards, and they're stealing hearts. So each time they ask a question, you hand them a card. And every time they get a card, there's like one bag or maybe two bags that has a little prize in it. So each time someone else asks a question, they're going to be able to steal that bag from someone else's because they're getting the heart card from the deck until all the cards are gone and the last person who has the bag gets whatever the prize is. That one, Stealing Hearts, is a little competitive because you might have the same people asking to get them. They want it back and forth. But you can pick to do 10, not the whole 12 for that one. And then the ticket activity is one that Pampered Chef really encourages, where it's basically the same thing, but you have a roll of tickets. And sometimes you can just pick 10 tickets off and you're having them ask questions about the business and you're handing out tickets for it. And Pampered Chef does have a whole PDF on this with the question and answers. And it is on Consultant's Corner. And it is something that they have little stickers. So if you get stumped and your people aren't asking questions at your shows, you can just print those stickers off and put them either on the catalog or on if you use lap boards or anything like that, or folders, and you can just say, we're going to play a real quick ticket activity game where you can ask me anything about my business. And if you can't think of the question, just look down at your catalog. There should be one already on there for you that you can just ask me. And those questions are set up with answers already from Pampered Chef that you can just go through it pretty quickly. Okay, so inviting at the full service checkout. So this is where you want to, if someone has given you a red flag, and a red flag could be something like, oh my gosh, I could never do what you do. Or how many nights a week do you work? Or how many hours a week do you actually spend on Pampered Chef? Those kind of things are what I call red flags because they want more information, but they might be afraid of what, they're asking those questions because they want to see if they could do something like this. So these are just some things you're going to, of course, assume that everyone wants to book a party with you because that's just, we're having so much fun. Why wouldn't they book a party with me? But if you go, you're giving your information at your full service checkout and asking them, was there anything I said today about Pampered Chef that inspired you? That, was there anything you wanted to know more about? And then they say, sure, let me take home some information. When you call them back and they decide, no, they don't want to join Pampered Chef, you could say something like, Heather, I think it's really unfortunate that you decided not to join my team, but I have so enjoyed you, and I think you're such a sweet person. I definitely know you would have an amazing party. So even though you're not joining right now, let's go ahead and just fill your kitchen with some great products. What do you think? Because you still want to get the party from them, even if they're not going to join your team. And so you still want to invite them to learn more about Pampered Chef. Other checkout chat questions you can ask is, what questions do you have about the business? Have you ever thought about doing something like this or having a home-based business? You asked a lot of great questions during our game. What inspired you most about our business opportunity? If I gave you a little information about our business, would you read it? Did anything I say make you curious about Pampered Chef? What's stopping you from doing something like this? Oh my gosh, you'd be great at this. Sometimes people just need to hear they'd be great at something to go, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. What would you say if I told you could make $500 for working 5 days a month, any 5 days you wanted, when it was most convenient for you? These are just some ways to kind of get them to be able to take home more information so you can invite them to learn more. So Pampered Chef definitely encourages us to make a 24-hour call. This does not always happen. Life gets very busy. If you try to make this 24 to 48 hours, this is once they book a show, because typically what happens is about 50% of the people that join your team hosted first. So you want to be able to start when you're host coaching to talk to them right away about joining your team. So this is after they booked a party. So Heather, we just met last night and you booked a party. Yay. I'm going to say, hey Heather, it's Christina from the Pampered Chef. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. I just thought I would give you a quick call to say thank you so much for booking your party with me. I know we are going to have so much fun. So I just wanted to confirm that you chose January 14th at 11 a.m. for your party. Is that still good?
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Remember, the most important thing for you to do right now is to create your guest list. And I would love to have that back from you in the next 48 hours. So I can send a little postcard invitation, a personalized postcard invitation to everyone on your list. I encourage this. When you get a list from them, you have higher show attendance, you have higher sales. So if you're not doing this, it is worth the postcard stamp to send them and request it. So even if you book a party in January and I'm calling you December 4th, I still want your list within 48 hours because I can send out the invitations whenever I want. But if I need your list to be able to do that. And if you know I'm not going to send out the invitations till after Christmas, you're not going to send me your list until after Christmas. But by that point, you've gotten busy with the kids, you've gotten busy with work, you've gotten busy with holidays, and then you're going to forget about me, right? So I want that list quick. So I would love to have that back from you in the next 48 hours so I can send a personalized postcard invitation to everyone on your list. That way, if they can't make it, they can place an order and you'll get credit for that. Will that work for you?
Sure.
Perfect. I know once you start calling people to personally invite them and they hear how excited you are about your party, that you will have great attendance. Our goal is to have at least 15 people there, which means we need to reach out to at least 40 people. I know that I know that I mentioned this yesterday, but I have to say that I have not been able to get you out of my mind. That should be out, not our. That's the thing with when you're typing, it doesn't correct your words that are spelled correctly. So you're reading them back and you're like, yep, I messed up. Anyways, I've not been able to get you out of my mind. I think you would make an amazing consultant with the Pampered Chef, and I think it would be terrific to have you as part of my team. I'd love to get together with you for coffee and tell you just a little bit about our business. I think you would really love what you hear. What do you think?
Sure, that'll be great.
So mostly that's what happens, and if they say, you know what, now's not a really good time, or if they say, I don't like coffee because I don't like coffee. All right, let's go for cupcakes. That's my cup of tea. So you want to be able to kind of practice this script with, and of course, the more that you say this, the more that you practice, call your best friend and say, hey, I need to practice some scripts on you. Use these and practice with them because then you'll realize you'll be getting comfortable with it and it doesn't become blah, 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 blah. You can make these words your words and then you know that you're going to be fine there. So this is some homework, and then I'm going to move right into our next training segment, which is how to do that opportunity chat. So this one, of course, create your story and practice it. So this is your short story, why you started with Pampered Chef, why you're staying, all of that stuff. Practice your recruiting messages and activities that you want to do. If you want to do the envelope game, practice that. If you want to do the ticket or stealing hearts or why bag, practice those. Observe a strong recruiter's party. Offer the opportunity to everyone at checkout and during the 24-hour call once you've booked those shows and you're calling those hosts. And of course, as always, make 15 contacts a week outside of the party. And then this is one of my absolute favorite trainings. I assign it all the time. I listen to it at least 6 times a year. Top Recruiters Tell All. It is on my phone because you can download the the audio, and it's on there because I want to listen to it whenever I can. So it's Top Recruiters Tell All. It gives you some amazing word choices for how to talk to people about joining Pampered Chef or joining direct sales in general. Okay, so did you know that there is a recruit at every party, but is there a recruiter? You have to go into every party being intentional about having someone join your team. Otherwise, the next director on your team could be sitting there, but you will never know because you didn't invite them to learn more. And I don't know if Rita's watching this later, but I'm sure that when Bobby Lynn met Rita, she wasn't thinking, oh, this lady, this grandma who quilts and does crafts wants to join Pampered Chef. Here she is, doing Pampered Chef from Florida to Pennsylvania. So in her RV. So you just never know. And I try not to prejudge because I just say, I never know what people need. And sometimes they need something like what we have. So these are just some cute little pictures, fear versus ambition. What if I fail? But what if the world needs this? And in between that is where we fall because you're always afraid you're going to fail, but you're like, where's that balance? And then of course, what if I fail? Oh, darling, but what if you fly? Okay, so our opportunity chat. This is once you've gotten them to say yes to learning more about Pampered Chef. So how many of you would love to sign your next consultant right at your show? I always love taking new team members with me to my show, or just team members in general to my show, because typically when that happens, I sign someone at a show. And I think it's because they see that you get training. And they're like, oh, I get help with this? Okay. So I try not to go to a show alone, and I've been terrible this year because I haven't been posting my schedule for people to say, hey, come observe a show. I should do that more. That's on my goals for next year. But some of the advantages of getting them signed right away is because they're very excited right there. You know, how many times have you talked to someone who's very excited about Pampered Chef and then they say, well, let me just go home and talk to my husband. Or let me just, go home and think on it real quick. And then what happens? Do you know what happens?
I'll call you back.
They talk themselves out of it, or their husband says, oh, you wouldn't be any good at this. Or they called their best friend and said, hey, I just went to a Pampered Chef party and I think I'm going to do it. And the best friend says, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then automatically that gets all that self-doubt in their mind. If you get them signed up at the show, then when you go and let's say it's Heather, and Heather goes, oh my gosh, honey, guess what? I went to this Pampered Chef party and I had so much fun, so I'm going to do it too. I just signed up. Oh, that's cool. You can't really say no now because you've already done it.
Exactly.
You call your best friend, I just signed up to be a Pampered Chef consultant. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Instead of saying, I think I'm going to do this. Why? So it gets guests on board right away. It saves so much time. You don't have to call them back later and then get the runaround. I have a list going right now. This is the list of potential consultants that I've met in the last 2 months that have not signed up yet. So it's like I keep reaching out, but if I had signed them at the show, I wouldn't have this list to keep following up with. So, but it does save time to get them to sign up right there, and it gets them excited right away. Okay, so how do you do it? I always start with a compliment. I compliment them and tell them why they should be on the team. So an example here would be, Janelle, I am so excited that you came tonight. You were such a fun guest. Not to mention, you totally rocked my card game. I'm curious, did you hear anything tonight that excited you about the business? And just answer any questions, quick and direct answers. So an example would be, well, I would, but I'm just too busy. I usually say, me too. I'm so busy. But I say, but you had time to be here tonight. Don't allow your guests to make joining your team a big deal because they're going to overthink it. Keep it simple. Well, it sounds like you don't have any more questions. Are you ready to sign up? You'd be so great at this. Oh my gosh, you had so much fun. You were the life of the party. Like everybody gravitated towards you. You have the personality for this. You'd be amazing. Be prepared. So you never want to have to take away your iPad or your phone or whatever when someone's ready to sign up right there. So you always want to have your host have a laptop or a desktop ready that someone could use, that they could be sitting next to you or near you while they do their agreement, so you can still check other people out. But let them know that you're always hiring, that if they need any extra money, you're hiring. Now's a great time to join. I'm trying to get all of these potential people to join by the end of the year because we got that extra 30 days. That's huge. An extra 30 days to earn all that extra money. It's awesome. And to still get all the free products. They get 60 days, not just the 30, to get that set of stoneware, serveware. So it's definitely a great time to follow up with anyone who's shown an interest and let them know. So who do we want to chat with or interview? Anyone, everyone, anyone who says that they'll agree to do an interview with you. Your main focus should always be on the host first. And here are some reasons why. She obviously loves the products. She doesn't mind entertaining, and she just did all the work to get everyone here at her house. Maybe she could use the extra money. Plus, she already has a show on your calendar. It's not something you have to schedule later to do a launch party with her. And you might not be in the position, Heather, where you want to give away money. So instead of offering them to sign up first, you might be offering them to take the kit credit. Say, I'll come do the show, and then you can use $25 or $50 of your free money towards your new consultant kit. That way, when you're going to do the show, you're still making your paycheck, but you're getting her the bookings. She can put those on her schedule. You're getting her the new team members. She's going to use kit credit and do it that way. So when you're host coaching, it is very important to invite your host to look over the information. And I always give them a Taste the Good Life. This goes in every Taste, our Life Tastes Great. This goes in every single host packet, and I reference it on every single call. So when I talk on my first call, I'm going to say, okay, did you get that host packet I sent your way? It's got some great information in there, some personalized postcard invitations for you to hand out like fridge reminders, plus some catalogs and order forms, but it's also got some information about our business. I would love for you to take a look and see if you might have any questions about this. There's a great little information on the back about how much money you could make. And I would love to be able to have you on the team and be able to kick you off with our party we're already getting together on January, whatever date I gave you earlier, 19th, 14th. What date did I say you were doing your party?
I don't remember.
It's all good. When we get together in January, that could be your show right away. And I do say this, if you join before the show, then that show will become your grand opening. I'm going to still come and do my normal show, but it gives you an opportunity to kind of watch what I do And then my job there is going to still be to get you shows on your calendar and hopefully get you your first team member. And then you could ask this question, would you rather host the show and get the free products and I make the money, or get the free products and you make the money? And then that's where you know, okay, if they sign up first, do you want to give them the money or do you not? So for me, I'm in a position where I give away the sales. There's a lot of people that won't give away the sales, and you don't have to, because then you're making it like if that person adds a team member, they don't get paid that night when they add a team member. So you can always just encourage them to do the kit credit. And if you ask any director who on their team was a host first, it's probably about 50%. If we don't get our way by having consultants sign up at the show, then we have to get them to schedule an opportunity conversation with us. I typically try to do this in the first 24 to 48 hours, and I rarely do this in person. Yes, Pampered Chef encourages us to, but they're busy, I'm busy. I can usually chat with them for 20 minutes on the phone before work, during lunch, after work, after the kids have gone to bed, and that's so much easier. It is also harder for them to say no and not answer their phone unless you're physically meeting, but completely up to you. A key part of having a successful interview with the possible recruiter is to not throw up all over them. And that means that you give them way too much information. Typically, when you're doing a recruiting interview, you should be doing about 30% of the talking and letting them do about 70%. So you want to be asking a lot of questions. And if you are comfortable with the interview process and what you're doing is working, then don't change it. But if you're not, then we have these amazing opportunity chat cards that are really, really great to use. Heather, have you used the opportunity chat cards?
Yes, I have them. I've not had really the opportunity to use them.
Okay.
I've had them and read them.
Okay, so I would encourage you then between now and our call next week to see if you can meet up. If you're already going to have lunch with a girlfriend this week or dinner at some point, or if you're going to have like someone that could give you honest feedback, that you can say, hey, I'm doing this training course. You know, I do Pampered Chef. I'm doing this training course, and I would love to be able to practice these cards on you. There's also an electronic version that I can go over that we have access to as well. But my hope is that, you know, everyone will understand the importance of the 3 I's, you know, informing, letting them know about Pampered Chef, inviting them to learn more about Pampered Chef by doing taking home information or agreeing to talk to you later, and doing that whole interview process. Neither of these 3 work by themselves. They kind of have to work together, and you need to practice because that's the only way you're going to be a great interviewer. Always remember, if you have the will, you can develop the skill. So I'm going to stop my share real quick. So let me go with, where's my other one? This one. Share. Okay, so on Consultants Corner, we actually have, this is the digital things. You can actually save this to your phone. There's an Android and an iOS file where you could save this to your phone and actually have them electronically versus having to buy the cards. The cards are great because you can just lay them out on the table and go right through them. But tell me about yourself, you know, and then this gives you what you need to say. Okay.
The screen's black. I don't see anything. Do you have something yet?
Oh, I do. Your screen sharing is paused. How do I unpause? Resume share. Now do you see it?
No.
Resume slideshow. No? You still don't see? No? You don't see it? Let me stop the share. Okay, so now it's just me and you?
Yes.
Now let me see if I can get this one to show up. Share screen. Now do you see it?
Yes.
So you see the tell me, okay. So like this is just basically the cards in a digital format. So if you don't have the actual cards, which you can get on a supply order, I typically buy them 2 sets at a time because once I add a team member by using the cards, I give them to her to be able to use right away to add people as well. So tell me about yourself. Let's chat about your family. Okay, so might role play like, so Heather, tell me a little bit about your family.
I have 2 grown children, both in college, and I work 2 jobs.
Okay. So what kind of jobs are you holding right now with your 2 jobs?
I work in accounting, and then I do cleaning on the side.
Okay, perfect. So you're staying a little busy.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things do you like to do when you're not working?
Sleep.
Sleeping is good, definitely. Do you ever get together and hang out with friends?
I do occasionally, yes.
Okay. Do you have any big dreams or goals you're trying to work towards?
Paying off my car.
Paying off your car? Car, is that what you said? Not cards?
Car, yeah.
Car like vehicle. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So if I was to get nosy, how much do you have left to pay off?
Oh, a lot.
Like
A long time.
15,000 or more?
More.
Okay, so we got some saving to do.
Yes.
Good thing is there's usually no prepayment penalty, so we can work towards getting you some extra money to be able to pay that off a little bit faster. That's what we did. So I like to pay off some debt. So tell me a little bit more about, would you like to know more about how to get started or just, more about the company?
Just probably more about the company.
Okay. Let me see where that one is. Well, so then I would just tell you because clearly it's hard.
No, how do I get started? That's what I meant.
No, you're fine. No, tell me more about the company. So Pampered Chef has been around for 36 years, and we just have some really great kitchen products. And I love that people who know us love us, and the people who don't know us fall in love with us when they see us for the first time. Because they're like, oh, how did I not know that this stuff existed? And then they have to have it all. So, I love we have the name recognition that just goes before us, which is amazing. So would you like to know a little bit more about how to get started?
Sure.
Okay, so which one of these interests you most?
Money.
Money. Okay, so I know that we talked a little bit about the party, and you got to play my envelope game with me. So which of those envelopes appeals to you more, 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3. Okay, so 3 is basically working 2 parties a week, where you can make some extra money. Now, I personally love the cooking show. There's a lot of my girls that just do virtual parties and have great success with it. So, just depends on, you're always going to get out of the business what you put into it. What else on here would interest you?
Flexibility and freedom.
Okay, so with freedom and flexibility, you basically would look at your schedule and figure out all of your family obligations first. And I know you've got 2 jobs, so you're probably juggling a lot already. But you would basically look at your schedule and figure out, okay, what nights am I willing to give up for Pampered Chef? And then that's when you want to pencil those dates in, and then you just kind of work when you want. What else?
Easy.
It is super, super easy. Did you see how easy my job was last night? You guys did all the work. Because really, they do at my show. They do all the work. I do an intro, they cook, I do a game, they're talking, that's it. My job is super easy. I'm done with my shows in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm waiting for them to order. So I do make it look super easy. And the great thing is the more you do parties, the easier they get. You get into that habit and that routine, and then it's going to be like, oh, I could totally do this better than you. Anything else?
No, that's probably all for me.
That's typically what happens, is that they'll pick 2 things, they might pick a third, but your goal is to say, what else? What else? Until they say, nope, I'm good. And you want to keep doing that. Same thing when they're placing their orders. What else? Anything else? What else? Until they say, no, I think that's it. Okay. Okay, so then, if they're asking about how easy it is to run your business, it's super easy. You start with a grand opening show. And it's super easy to sell products because people already love us. You're going to make money right away at your first show, and there's hardly any investments. And then what's next? So then if they say, what would be most fun for you? Fun would be like free products, recognition, free company paid vacations, those friendships. We work, it's a party. And then you keep going. If they're wanting to earn money, you can say, okay, well, hey, check this out. Just working 1 to 3 hours a week, you can make between $110 and $510 a month. If you want to actually make some full-time income, we can do that as well. I cannot even believe that they have that you can make an average monthly income of $45,000 a month. That seems like insane. That's what I want. I'm going there. And then you want to keep going. So if they're talking about wanting to set their own hours, the flexibility to plan your business around your life, to be your own boss, all of that stuff. What's next? Okay, what's important to you? Recognition. This is for supporting. That we have local team meetings, that we have a support center for us, for our consultants, and you get me to take care of you. Why Pampered Chef? Of course, everyone loves us. We get to earn free products. Pampered Chef covers the cost of the host rewards. We don't need to keep any inventory in stock. These are just some things that you could work on. Why don't you come with me to my next show? I'm having a party on Friday night. I'd love for you to come check it out. Which really, I am having a party on Friday night. So if you want to come, let me know. Scheduling their grand opening party. Come to our next team meeting. We're going to get together next Monday, and we're going to have a really fun Christmas dinner. I would love for you to come meet some of our team. And let's get started. So which new consultant kit would fit your life? Which one would you want? If money were not an option.
You have to get the ultimate kit.
Of course. Look at how awesome that is. So we're at a season right now where as adults, we typically don't get gifts for Christmas. We get money. So as you're talking to your family and friends, I would encourage you to get signed up this month because it's an amazing month. Pampered Chef is giving us an extra 30 days to hit our new consultant rewards. But also you can get the ultimate kit with just a couple of family members giving you some money for Christmas, and that would cover that cost of the kit. It kind of breaks it down if they wanted to know more about, which kit to get, and then you can go through all that, and then you just say, hey, you know what, you're going to be great, let's do this. So that's using those digital cards. I think we have 15 minutes left. So do you have any questions? I kind of sped through that, so I'm sure you're probably information overload. I was trying to get us in our time frame.
I jotted one little thing down. Top recruiters tell all, and then you turn the slide off. That's on Consultant Corner?
It is. So when you go to, and here, let me find it. Not that one, not that one. This one maybe. This one? Okay, hold on. Let me go back to that screen. Top recruiters tell all would be, it's going to be on the homework side, right? Isn't that where I told you?
It was either that one or right after it. It was on the very bottom of the screen.
It's when you go to, here it is. It's when you go to Consultants Corner, you hover over training and resources, and then there's a section where it says Director Bound. When you click on Director Bound, it's going to have consultant resources there.
There's nothing on my screen.
Oh.
I can put it up. It's black again.
You can't see that? Resume share.
It says you have started sharing, but it doesn't, it's still black.
Well, now mine's black too. I don't know what I did. Okay, well, write this. You can also type Top Recruiters Tell All into your search.
Okay.
And it'll find it there too, if you do a search. But yeah, I can post the little link right to it. I honestly, I listen to it in my car. The year that I think I recruited like 26 in 1 year because I would listen to that on the way to every single show.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I'm signing someone up at every single show because Top Recruiters is telling me I can. So I listened to it on the way to every show, and I would listen to it, if I didn't have a show for a week, I'd be listening to it at some point in the week. So I think I listened to that so much in my second year. Like I joined Pampered Chef July 2011. Had my first show in August 2011, promoted to director on accident, March 1st, 2012. And then I was like, well, crap, I need to stay here. So I need to keep adding people. So I found that audio years and years and years ago. And I was like, I'm saving it. It was programmed in my van. So I could just go to it. It's like built in,
Wow.
Like I'm listening to it because I just need those words and I'm not going to remember them. So the more I hear it, the more I'm going to do it. And then their words became my words. And I was like, oh, I've got this. So now when I get into a recruiting lull and I haven't added team members, I'm like, I need to go back and listen to that. I'm missing something that I was doing.
Yeah.
So definitely a great one to listen to. You can save it to your phone also, just like you do a podcast. You can save the audio to your phone and just have it there to listen to it while you're cleaning. It's like an hour long, 49 minutes, just somewhere between 49 minutes and an hour, 10 minutes. Great listen, though. You have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, well, we are doing our next call on Sunday. We're not skipping a week. Every other time we've been skipping a week in between. So the homework is, of course, to practice your opportunity chat and to practice your recruiting messages and activities from your group hello to observe a strong recruiter's party. I consider myself a strong recruiter, so feel free to observe a show with me. I've only got one live show left for this year, and it's on Friday
That's
night.
crazy.
I know. I get 2 weeks off. And then I'll be back at it with 13 shows in January. Yay! So start making calls now if you want to actually work in January. Make 15 contacts, of course, and listen to that. Top Recruiters Tell All. And then our next training is going to be on how to get your new consultants off to a strong start. So that call is going to take place on Sunday, next Sunday at 8:30, the same time, and it's going to break down the system that I use for getting my new consultants out. I do a new consultant strong start program because our goal through this whole process is to, and I know you probably haven't listened to all the calls, but call number 1 was basically talking about how to book parties away from your shows. Call number 2 was how to book parties at your shows. Call 3 was, okay, now that you've got your shows, how do you coach your host to have a great show? Call 4, it was tonight, talking about how to inform and invite while you're at your shows and how to possibly add your host as a consultant. And of course, 5, which is also tonight, was that opportunity chat. So the goal between this whole program is to build on skills. That way you can build a strong business and stay consistent. So now that we've taught you how to hopefully inform and invite and do that opportunity chat, hopefully you'll have some team members that you can start consulting and helping them build a very strong start. And the system is super easy. And I usually, once a team member adds a team member, I like to do the calls with them and their team member to train them. And then after that, once they've added that second person, they've got the skills to do it. You know, because they've listened to me do it, now they can handle it. So that's how I do that, and we'll be going over the Strong Start program. And if you did not ever go through a Strong Start program and you want to, I did that with some of my girls when I first learned the program. I said, you know, I just learned about this program and I would love to test it on you just to kind of get your feedback. So, so if you want to go through the Strong Start so that way you know how to do the Strong Start, we can do that as well. Just let me know when you want to do a coaching call. First call takes like 45 minutes. And I think it might just be me now because you left me. It's all good. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions about this video, don't hesitate to let me know or let Bobby know. She just got back from her amazing trip with her mama. So she was not on the call tonight because she's still on Venice time. So she'll be on next Sunday night, and then we'll be seeing you live at training on Monday. Hope you guys have a great week.